Hi, my name is Nicole, and I've had an abortion. And today I am here with Kim Hunt from Affinity Community Services. And just a little about her. What I know about her.
Okay.
She is an executive director at Affinity. She has served on the board of directors for 2 years. She's a published author. She has written research papers on women's issues and transportation, planning and policy, and environmental justice. For those of you who don't know what Affinity is, they are a LGBTQ organization. They have been around for 15 years. Their core constituents are Black, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender women, but also LGBTQ youth. And they provide and promote services to meet existing and emerging needs related to health advocacy, education, racism, sexism, and homophobia. So that's just a few of the things that I know.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you would like to add to that about yourself?
Sure. Well, as you mentioned, Affinity has been around for 15 years now. I'm the first executive director, and I started in May of last year. We also have a youth program coordinator who's part-time. You mentioned some of the work we do. We're a social justice organization, first and foremost. We do focus on health advocacy, also leadership development, as well as constituent-led community building. One of our premier programs is our Youth Leadership Institute, and we have two major programs under that. One is the Scholars Program, which is for African American youth age 18 to 24 who identify as lesbian, bisexual, or transgender. It's a 12-month program, and during that program, the scholars learn about community organizing, social justice work, nonprofit management, as well as having mentors and organizing a youth summit and doing research projects. And then we have our Junior Leadership Institute, which is a new program that we're launching next month, in fact, and that is for high school aged youth aged 13 to 19, and the focus there is also social justice and critical justice work, and that's an 8-week module. And out of each of those 8-week modules, we hope to be able to pick peer leaders who will move on to as leaders in the next modules for the next cohort of young people. So it's a little bit.
Okay, well, for any one that might want to get in touch with Affinity or any of your programs or services, do you have like any information like that you can just give out real quick? Like,
absolutely. Most of the information regarding our programs and even contact information is on our website, and that's www.affinity95.org, and that's Affinity, AFFINITY.
Okay, and if you didn't get a chance to jot that down, you can always contact the Chicago Abortion Fund, and we can link you to any services that you might need, any questions you might need answered. So, I know that, a lot of people, they think that abortion is only a heterosexual issue. But you and I know that that's not true, that it's, an issue for all women. But I want to know if you can discuss further for people who assume this, how it affects the LGBTQ community.
Sure. First of all, there's the whole issue of solidarity with all women, and the need to address reproductive justice and for women to have options, and that's across the board. But secondly, lesbians and bisexual women have come from lifestyles and heterosexual relationships, and have experienced a continuum of issues related to reproductive justice and reproductive health. And just from that standpoint, it is not a heterosexual issue at all. It's a women's issue. It's a human issue.
Exactly. And so I want to know, with abortion and also, being of the LGBTQ community, like, these are both, controversial issues, very stigmatized, especially in the African American community. And I just wanted to ask you, what motivates you to keep doing this work? Why the laugh?
It's an interesting question. Well, I'm motivated to do the work because I'm part of the community. One of the phrases that we use for folks who are engaged in this work and in the lifestyle is professional lesbian. And not many people of color get the opportunity to be professional lesbians, in the sense that they get to work on the issues and get paid to do that work that are related to them. But what motivates me to do the work is both I'm living the life, but also I think about the elders in our community and all that they've gone through, just the horrendous treatment that they've experienced in their lifetimes. And then I also think about the young people who we work with and who are even younger, who are in some ways so brave in how they live their lives and in such openness within their schools. But then I know that there are also other young people who don't have those opportunities and who are closeted and live in fear, both in terms of the schools and how they will be treated in the schools, but also in their families. And one of the scarier statistics that I've seen related to youth and homelessness is that 40% of the youth who are homeless in Chicago actually identify as lesbian, bisexual, transgender, or queer questioning, and they have actually been kicked out of their homes by their families because they came out. So those kind of issues are what motivate me to continue to do the work, and motivate the volunteers and the board members and other key individuals at Affinity to continue over these 15 years and beyond, I'm sure.
Well, that's good, because I know, like, even me doing, the work that I do in the leadership group with the Chicago Abortion Fund, like, I've had an abortion before, and, like, I have a child, and so, like, that's just very motivating for me, because, like, I know what it's like on both sides of the table. And then by me being low income and me being, an African American, like, I get to experience things, firsthand, and a lot of us, we don't speak up, we don't get that chance to talk. A lot of times people think there's nobody there, to listen, or that their voices don't matter. So what words do you have for women who haven't found their voice yet, or feel like they don't have that voice and they can't express, and they have no support?
Well, I would say that is the reason that Affinity exists. The notion for Affinity began with the desire for African American, lesbian, and gay men and bisexual individuals to be able to live freely on the south side of Chicago. It started with the desire to march in the Blood Billiken Parade and be open on the south side. Prior to the founding of Affinity, because there wasn't that visibility that they felt was needed on the south side, so that people understand that the LGBT community is made up of human beings and they aren't scary. And over the years, Affinity